Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2, the Reflections from Awakening series. In episode 1, we went over things like, where did I begin? What cracked me open on my soul journey? So I led you guys through the unfolding of the months of 2019. I talked about how a cancer diagnosis for one of my fur babies led me to a bit of a deep dive into trying to find alternative healing modalities that would help him. And over a couple of months, I came to understand that I too actually had the capacity to draw up energy and healing that I didn't even know I could do. And I needed further information. I needed to do the research. And that leads us to episode 2. In this episode, we're going to go over some of the healing energies I came across, working with crystals, and a little bit of a dive I did into angel frequencies that helped me in understanding where I wanted to go and where I felt most aligned in my own energy and where I wanted to be. In the energies that I wanted to work with and the ones that resonated the deepest for me. So in looking up healing energies and modalities, there are many things out there. You're going to see things like quantum touch, EFT, which is like otherwise known as tapping, and Reiki. I was just trying to find something where when I read someone's website or what the energy was about or how they used it, that I felt good about it. These days, they would say, what resonates most with you? What do you feel in your heart is the best way forward? Well, back then, all I would say is I was looking for something that clicked, that really, when I read it, I'm like, yep, that's the one. In this case, it led me to a beautiful practitioner here in British Columbia that I really did resonate with. I really felt that she was going to be the perfect mentor for me to lead me through this sort of discovery process of the energy of Reiki and working with it. And I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try at least a couple of sessions of me personally working, and receiving Reiki healing, and also for Parker. And I thought, if it resonates for Parker, if he really takes to it and it seems to really do something beautiful for him, then I would go ahead and become a practitioner of Reiki, which means going through the courses, taking the learning, completing all the training and certificates, attunements, ignitions, activations, you name it. And knowing that this would be years in the making. So, of course, I also knew in that moment that his healing wasn't necessarily going to be something that I would be the driver of, that I would be able to assist at that level. I would be depending on others to help him through. In this case, it would be a bevy of healing practitioners, from Reiki to shamanism, to earth energy practitioners, to sound healing and plant medicine practitioners. That would be our arsenal, if you will, of everything that I could bring together in such a way to help him. So if we go back to the healing energies, once I had sort of narrowed it down to this Reiki, I decided, yes, I'm going to go through it, and I aligned mostly with Holy Fire Reiki. So that is the modality of Reiki that I went with. Holy Fire is not in a religious context. It is from more of a universal, unity, holistic perspective. In reality, the way I think of Holy Fire now is just this beautiful, sentient, healing energy that is expansive across the universe, if not the multiverse. And it is a beautiful energy that comes through that can be aligned with Reiki in almost a dual impact way. So you can work with the Reiki itself and the Holy Fire as well. And when they combine, it creates this beautiful, new, loving, healing modality. I was also led to work with crystals. I had crystals for years. This wasn't my first dip of the toe into that ocean. However, it became readily apparent to me that when I had pulled upon those earth energies, that heat, the fire, the lava, the actual Mother Earth Gaia energies, that I was also trying to pull on crystal energy. And of course, my fur babies loved the crystals that I had. Parker in particular would always go after the purple amethysts and citrines that I had in the room. Once I started to observe and really take notice of these things, it was like, yeah, okay, there's something to this. Let's learn a little bit more about this. Let's learn about the energies, the vibration, the energetic healing frequencies that crystals actually hold. And what I came to understand is that crystals actually hold memory. They are imprinted with not only history and wisdom and all sorts of beautiful information, but they also have their own beautiful healing energy, each and every one of them. So if you're ever, in a crystal shop or just anywhere, if a crystal catches your eye, the likelihood is it's meant for you. It's calling to you just as much as your energy is calling to it. Crystals can be with us for a moment or a lifetime in all reality. But when you attract a crystal into your life, or you decide with intention to work with crystals, that is a very beautiful energetic healing relationship that you can have. It ties you into Mother Earth energy and Gaia, but it ties you to a much deeper, universal, sacred type of healing. And this is what pulls up that earth energy. As you go deeper into working with crystals, you will find that there are all sorts of frequencies imbued in them, including ones that people call angel frequencies or galactic frequencies. You will commonly hear of crystals that are Lemurian. You will find that there's crystal conventions, crystal healers, crystal practitioners, courses, certificates out there. There's everything. Because crystals in and of their own right are healing energy, frequency, and vibrations that when you work with them, either as the individual that wants to receive that healing frequency, or you work with them for protection measures, sometimes something we call crystal gridding, which is setting up the crystals around yourself in a very specific formation to sort of what we call is create a sacred container. And that sets the protection energy like a bubble around you that you can work safely, either for healing yourself or others. It's a sacred practice, and it's something that we learn as a healing practitioner. So the crystals called to me, Reiki called to me, and angel frequencies called to me. I also did a bit of a deep dive working with angel communication, is what we call it. Yes, there are practitioners out there and healers and mentors that are deeply steeped in this knowledge. And as time goes on, of course, I learned more about that with the understanding that it's one of the gifts. So when people speak of spiritual gifts, one of them is angel communication or communication with our guides. And some people have a high affinity for working with angels and that beautiful angelic frequency and vibration. And it is something that they are so attuned to that they have naturally followed a course in life of becoming an angel communicator or an angel healer with that frequency. We will do deeper dives into this later on in our series, but I'm just introducing that to you now because the angel energy, the crystal energy, and the holy fire Reiki energy was something that created the perfect deep dive with intention, full stop, to pouring myself into the learning of these healing modalities, of this energy. What did it mean? And how could I employ it going forward for the benefit of myself and others, including animals and Mother Earth? If you want to know what happens later in December, join me as we go through the quote-unquote digging to China episode with my fur babies. What did it feel like to have energy flowing through my hands? And how did I come to know that it was truly healing and nurturing energy and not something else? If you like what you've heard so far, please subscribe and join me on episode 3. See you on the inside.